And welcome, rugby fans, to beautiful Chicago Blaze facility here in Lamont, Illinois, as we are here with the Thunderbird Cup between the Midwest Thunderbirds and the Chicago Hounds Academy. My name is Joshua Shibata. I'm with the legendary Lance Kavanaugh. And Lance, we are here for a exciting matchup between some of the all-stars in the Midwest Rugby Union, Midwest Thunderbirds, taking on the Chicago Hounds Academy. And we are just moments away. Here is the starting lineup for the Thunderbirds. We have Hernandez and Fisher as your props. We have Chris Shade at the hooker, Caleb Daniels and DJ Martin as the 4 and 5, Gavin Spizak and Michael Witt 6-7. Your number 8 man is Scott Peterson. For your scrum half is Carter Billman. Number 10, Caleb Robenheimer. Number 11 and number 14, CJ Ikemefuna and Daryl Williams are your winger. Nathan Hlavka and Jared Kissinger, your centers, with Jacob Sunday as your fullback at number 15. Now we go to the Chicago Hounds side. Patrick Beatty and Kobe Baker are your props. Jackson Zabierek is their hooker. Calvin Ehrig and Mason Wells are your flankers. Your 6 and 7. Yes, 6 and 7s. Colin Turner and Alex Nalwell, your number 8 man, Josh Ute. Your scrum half, Hunter Maudlin. Fly half is Sam Walsh. Your wingers, Tom Navarra and Nate Purcell. Inside centers is Dayan Joyce, and outside Owen McGuffin. And number 15, your fullback, Matt De Villiers.
Am I on yet?
And again, we are here in the beautiful Chicago Blaze facility, home for the Chicago Blaze in Lemont, Illinois. Getting ready for our kickoff. It looks like, if I'm reading it correctly, the Chicago Hounds are on your left, going to the right. They will have the kickoff, and here we go. And it looks like a misplay by the Thunderbirds. And good play by Chicago to stop the Thunderbirds. Thunderbirds trying to make some forward. Looks like we're going to be forced. Offside. The referee, unfortunately, in the way from that scrum half, passing the ball back. First time we've ever seen that in here in Chicago, right, Scott? And I believe Lance Kavanaugh may be having a little bit of technical difficulties. We'll get back to him in just a second, as we have the Thunderbirds kicking the ball out to touch. And we are waiting to get a line out here for the Thunderbirds. Thunderbirds in their green and white hoops, while the Chicago Hounds in what it looks like kind of a nice magenta blue kit. And here we go, Thunderbirds with the first line out. Chris Shade with the throw in, and a little bit of sloppy play, but the Thunderbirds are able to keep possession of the ball. Quick tackles by the Chicago Hounds. And as you see, Carter Billman trying his best to pass the ball back. Cycle. Oh, unfortunately, a loss of the ball, but it looks like a call of offsides against the Hounds. Oh, correction. Yes, against the Hounds. So ball to the Thunderbirds. And Caleb Rubenheimer, Detroit tradesman and also player of the year back in 2002, Caleb Rubenheimer getting the ball and kicking it out to touch. Very close in the inside of the Hounds 22, giving the Thunderbirds the first opportunity to possibly score an early try here in just the opening 2 minutes of play.
Yeah, and we're talking about an all-star team put together. Finding cohesion in these moments means so much. Can they get their maul rolling? Are they organized enough to get the lineouts clean? It's so much to be asked.
And there you go. Looks like a little bit of a miscue, but the Thunderbirds able to capitalize on it. Fortunately, holding on to the ball, cycling in the back. Hounds trying to get their defense up. That was Caleb Robenheimer getting taken down as the ball is passed down to Jacob Sunday on the outside. Does he have the last pass? He does. Going in, and try time for the Thunderbirds. I believe that was number 6, Gavin Spizak, with the put down.
The Detroit man himself, Spizak with the splicker. And they implored an old technique from back in the day to win that line out. We'll go back to the try, though. The ball flows freely through hands, and this break right here, taking out 2 defenders off the knee, one-handed offload. And all he needed was a little bit more space to finish, to fin enough to give him the space. But earlier in that line out, they spiked the ball to the ground. So if you're not organized enough to counter a defensive line out that can easily steal the ball from you, you make it as random as possible. So spiking the ball on the ground perfectly to a Midwestern Thunderbird, and that's what set up everything that led to this try. Great bit of play. The forwards being smart and the backs making the most of their opportunity around the corner, and the Hounds find themselves down in the first 5 minutes of this match.
Caleb Rubenheimer, the fly half for the Thunderbirds, unfortunately not able to make the conversion. And now that puts the Thunderbirds ahead 5-0. And again, just the opening couple of minutes, a surprising strike by the Thunderbirds. Right, Lance?
Yeah, they figured it out. I mean, one thing, if you are a motley crew and you don't have that cohesion, when it's time to be individualistic, you got to shine. And when it's time to make that pass, you got to make it. Off of the knee with the right hand on the way down is an amazing bit of connective play. And now with this line out to go, it's some confidence for this Midwestern Thunderbird side.
Knock on first, knock on into touch, scrum call.
And as you hear the match official, it was a knock on first, misplayed by the Thunderbirds. So then a scrum was called because before the ball went out of the pitch, it was a knock on. So the defending team is given the option whether or not to take the line out of the scrum. And obviously, as you see, they are taking the scrum.
Bind. Set. Blue straight, blue straight.
And there you go, Hunter Maudlin with the put in for the Chicago Hounds. First time that we've had a scrum.
Straight down, both
and
sides.
Unfortunately, straight down, so we are having a reset. So if you are not familiar with the rules of rugby, the scrum, a very tactical position here in the rugby game. Both sides have to stay up as they push themselves forward. Unfortunately, that did not happen, so our match official will have a reset.
Boys, like we said beforehand, stability, okay? Safety first. Take it nice and easy. Crouch. Bind. Set.
And here we go again with...
All right, let's not play to that, okay? I try to. We'll manage it. We don't need you doing that, okay?
Now, Lance, you're very familiar with playing on the pitch, on the rugby pitch.
Right, we'll
what
manage
exactly is going through the minds of this both packs leading into this scrum?
Well, especially early on, it's about establishing yourself, whether in dominance or in stability, but establishing. One thing you don't want is the referee looking to you for any kind of scrum infraction. So you got to make sure you're top tier in that case and get the sympathy of the ref to know that he doesn't have to worry about you.
Free kick on the
like
five.
you mentioned there, we have a short ball penalty against the Hounds. It looks like they're the ones being reprimanded, or as Lance put it, keeping the match officials' eye on them. That allows the Thunderbirds to get that free kick. And here we go, quick tap by the Thunderbirds. Thunderbirds going in, but they're met by a wall of defense by the Hounds, cycling the ball back. Big run by the Thunderbirds, number 4, Caleb Daniels from Des Moines Rugby. Ball is kicked out into touch, and unfortunately I believe that's a penalty because it was taken back past to the own 22 of the Thunderbirds. So the ball is coming all the way back to where the ball was kicked.
It's a line out.
Yeah, just a line out where the ball was kicked horizontally to the field. But as I look at a lot of these players on this Hound side, I mean, we're looking at draft picks in the MLR. We're looking at guys that are really fighting for their place on that Chicago Hound side that's out here against the Thunderbirds.
Get back. Mo!
And you mentioned it, Lance. Number 2, the man who just threw the ball in, Jackson Zabriak, is a former draft pick in the second round of the 2023 MLR draft. So a lot of pedigree on this Hound side.
Hands away, hands away!
They were able to stop the maul, and here comes number 12, Dayan Joyce, UCLA grad, just recently graduated from UCLA, coming over from LA to play here in Chicago. Run in by Nate Purcell, another strong member of the Chicago Griffins, and the Hounds now knocking on the doorstep of the tri-zone of the Thunderbirds. Well, the Thunderbirds able to muster up a defense to stop them. They're pushing them back. Ball is on the floor, pick up and go. I believe that's Calvin Ehrig, another draft pick in the MLR 2024
Too much
draft.
Of a mess there, boys. Over the top on 9. 9
and
over
as
the
you
top.
hear by the match official, too much of a mess, so penalty against the Thunderbirds, ball to the Chicago Hounds.
Bring it to the 5,
see
9.
Hunter Maudlin, number 9, figuring out what to do with his troops, passes the ball to Jason Zabriak, the hooker. He is stopped by a wall, but there's a little bit of a second push, but he's short according to the match official. And unfortunately, a penalty against the Hounds, double movements.
2 moves, boys. I called it short, and then you played it over. You got dragged over. You got a release.
And it's amazing what we just seen from the Hounds.
3 more steps.
A bit of cohesion that they have over this Midwest side. They're a lot more connected offensively, the way they get around the field a bit. But the individual moments, got to be able to do what's necessary, keeping the ball in play, not giving up penalties. But this Hound side is going to have multiple opportunities.
And the ball was kicked out into touch. It looked like the Hounds might have thought they were able to play the ball, but the ball was out. And so it is a penalty. So the ball goes to the Thunderbirds, close into the territory of the Hounds. And here we go with the line out by the Thunderbirds. Unfortunately, that line out does not work. Hounds are able to maintain the ball as they move back into Thunderbirds territory. Ball passed again by Hunter Maudlin. Smooth movements by the Hounds. Number 12, Dan Joyce, making his way in before being taken down. Ball's passed again by the scrum half, Hunter Maudlin. Thunderbirds defense is very, very strong. Hounds are trying their hardest to break through, but they're usually met by a wall of Thunderbirds. But there you go, a little bit of a breakthrough by the Hounds. Passing it in. Another big tackle by some of the bigger units of the Thunderbirds. That was Lorenzo Hernandez there for the Thunderbirds. And it looks like a jackal successfully taken over by the Thunderbirds.
Good position.
Yeah, one thing about it is defensively, the Thunderbirds are showing up in so many ways. That was Chris Fisher who got his hands on the ball, the Cleveland Crusader, able to get the steal back. And it looks like the Hounds are finding themselves dealing with the MLR team of old in Dallas, because the Jackal is alive, finding a way to get their hands on the pill and getting it back. And it seems like all the penalties are going into the advantage of the Midwest Thunderbirds. That doesn't lend itself for the course of this matchup, especially with a referee who emphasized safety and control. He will want to make sure that these teams play fair ball. And it's leaning towards the Thunderbirds right now.
Take another step.
Great point there, Lance. Chris Shade again with the toss. And again, unfortunately, that line out also mishap there as the Hounds are able to turn over and get the ball. Box kick into Midwest territory. Good take by the Thunderbirds, but he is immediately swarmed. Almost lost the ball to the Hounds. Fortunately, he's getting some support. Ball is cycled back by number 9, Carter Billman for the Thunderbirds. Looks like the ball is there. Carter Billman able to pass the ball back, kicked back into Hounds territory. Hounds are able to take the ball. There was apparently a penalty, but the advantage is over. That looked like Sam Walsh of the Hounds able to pass the ball to number 12. Again, Dan Joyce, who's all over the pitch. Some fancy moves. Good pass right before being taken down. Oh, but unfortunately, Hounds lose the ball. Ball is kicked into Hounds territory, relieving a lot of that pressure as we have number 11, Tom Nevera, moving into the territory. High tackle called. And that is the Hounds ball.
And one of the things you will want to avoid if you're this Hound side is anything that lends to overconfidence. They find themselves now really attacking right back at this Thunderbird side, not looking for where the open space is, not finding where the easy bit of rugby is, but instead where I know I'm better than you, one-on-one, mano-a-mano. And it's showing it up in spurts, but man, the collisions are big. It's just the Hounds have to find a way to kind of reserve and lean back into more of a fundamental approach of the game and just making the easiest play possible, because the space is going to open up for them.
That's correct. And as you saw in that instant replay, it looked like number 11 for the Thunderbirds, CJ Ikemefuna, was the one with the high tackle, just a little bit high, shoulder to the face, but also looks like maybe he might have suffered an injury in the process. We're probably taking a little bit of a timeout just to assess and see how Ikemefuna is doing. Hopefully he's okay. As we say, Lance, rugby is not ballet. It is a very physical sport, but of course we don't want to see anybody get hurt on the pitch.
Yeah, and one of the things you got to respect, you know, we all know there's a bit of danger in this, but it's those guys who really put their body on the line, getting in for hits, leaning into tackles. Those are the people that you got a lot of love and respect for. We hope Buddy is all right and he can get up from that hit, but man, what a collision.
Yeah, definitely for sure.
You fro- you
Going over
frozen too?
again, it looks like this is again a game for the Thunderbird Cup. Both sides have played each other almost exactly the same time last year, though that time the game was played in Chicago, close to the home of the Chicago Hounds. A little bit of a lopsided game there, 52-25. The Chicago Hounds were able to win last year. Right now, the Thunderbirds, though, are the only team that's on the board 5-0. So we'll see if things can change a little bit differently. And we're having a little bit of technical difficulties here as we'll try to get back to the action on the pitch. But at least we get a nice, beautiful view of the skyline of Lemont, Illinois here in the Illinois area. So as we are recapping, the day has been a full day of amazing championship rugby. The Midwest Rugby Union's having 6 titles on the line. 6 champions were crowned. I know, Lance, you have had a full day of rugby, and especially that last game where we have to say congratulations to the Chicago Lions, able to pull off the victory from the jaws of defeat to get themselves crowned as the 2025 Midwest Premiership Division 1 men's champions. That game was a crazy one, wasn't it, Lance?
That game had everything you asked for. It had tactical, it had hitting, it had a back and forth, it had a complex story. The Chicago Lions gave away the lead where they had, you know, a 2-try lead with 20 minutes left, and before long find themselves with 5 minutes left down on the scoreboard. Everything that needed to go wrong for them kind of did. Yellow cards, short-handed tries, everything you can think of that was going the opposite way for them, and they figured it out at the end. And they did it by being the better team, essentially. They worked together to get the ball back, use the upper 4 inches of their mind, you know, using their brain to go ahead and approach how they do things, and they were able to get the ball back and fight all the way down the field to score with no time on the clock. And a heartbreak for St. Louis, who was missing one of their leaders on the team, who definitely would have changed the complexity of that matchup if they were there. But the 4th seed in the Midwest going into the playoffs is the 1 seed of the Midwest going into the national tournament. So it's a crazy turn of events.
Yeah, it really is. And again, like you said, heartbreaker for the St. Louis Bombers. I was watching the game myself, and I believe the comments as we were going into the second half that the Bombers aren't out of it. Anything can happen in 20, 40 minutes of rugby, and the Bombers almost proved that correct. They almost walked away with the victory. But like you said, Lance, with just only 5 minutes left, the Lions were able to pull it together, muscle it out, and they apparently looked like they wanted it more, and they were able to score that winning try in the dying seconds of the game. So once again, congratulations to the Chicago Lions, your 2025 Premiership champions. And I believe we're coming back into gameplay here.
Meters, not 2 meters. Take another step. I'm going to free kick you.
Here we go.
Here.
Line out to the Thunderbirds. And again, the score is still 5-0 as we're entering into the 15 minutes of this match. Thunderbirds are trying to cycle the ball out of their territory. I believe there was a rundown by the Hounds. But it looks like there was already a penalty for offsides against the Hounds.
Yeah, and again, we got a great lower level angle here. We'll get to see it from a beautiful perspective. But it looks like he was just a tad offsides, able to use his length to charge the ball down, but unfortunately couldn't stay locked in. And now the Hounds have a great attacking opportunity here.
And as you see, the Thunderbirds are marching their way into Hounds territory. Hounds with the run. I believe that might be Sam Walsh running in before he got tackled. Here's the ball cycling back. Oh, there's a breakaway. Open field ahead. Good pass to the back. Taken down. Good Lord. Nate Purcell almost walked away with the try. Ball does not go to the hand. But there is a penalty against the Thunderbirds for a high tackle.
Yep. Here's
Now, Lance, what would you do? Oh, never mind. We're going to go for the quick. I don't know if we were going to go for a penalty kick, but quick play here by the Hounds instead. Ball is being cycled back by Hunter Maudlin, the fly half. And here we go, running in, and there is the try by the Hounds. I believe number 14, Nate Purcell, put it down on the winger. And now we are all tied up with conversion to go.
It looks like Calvin put that one in, actually.
Oh,
the lock
Calvin
that
Ere,
was
yes, you're right.
Yeah, that looked like Calvin put it in. But, you know, earlier I said, you know, the Hounds need to avoid anything that lends itself to overconfidence. They had an easy 3 points, but they believe in their team. Don't worry about the commentator. Have that overconfidence. Believe in your side and go in to score. I mean, you're right in front of the sticks, 10 meters out. You know, most teams would take that opportunity and immediately take those 3 points, but the Hounds won at 5. They're Hounds. They won it all, and they got their full 5. This conversion really can change everything for them as well, because the Midwest is already shuffling players. The Midwest has already seen themselves a little bit disjointed defensively. I don't know if you've been noticing the last little bit of time. It's a confidence coming from this Hound side where they're attacking with absolute belief that they can break the line, and it worked out for them. 7-5 now.
You're absolutely right there, Lance. And Sam Walsh with the conversion kick to make it 7-5. Sam Walsh, of course, a former member of the RFCLA, now a member of the Chicago Hounds Academy. Actually, his brother, Charles Walsh, just got drafted by the Seattle Seawolves in this year's MLR draft in the 2nd round. So we'll be excited to see if both brothers are able to take on the pitch at the same time. Here we go, kickoff by the Thunderbirds. And it looks like the Thunderbirds are able to recover the restart as they crashing into Hounds territory. Ball again cycling back by Carter Beelman. And there's the breakaway. Will we have a counter try here? Oh, unfortunately, that pass just slipped through the hands of Darrell Williams on the side. But the Thunderbirds so close to scoring another try.
And it looks like this Thunderbird side is going to battle back as well. A little space is all the man needs. And Caleb wanted to go by himself and do it all. The space is there. The time is there. 2 hands on that ball and an easy pass. They walk in. Thunderbirds going to score. But unfortunately, just a little too fast and maybe just a tad too frantic.
And here we go with the line out. And now the Hounds with the ball. Hounds very close to their try zone. They're going to have to figure out a way to escape the pressure. As we see Hunter Maudlin. Oh, he slipped. Wow. And fortunately, though, recovered by the Hounds. Wow. Very rarely do you see that happen in rugby, but you never know what the conditions of the pitch are. And unfortunately, what should have been an easy escape route ends up being a miscue. Thunderbirds now with the ball, and again, they are knocking on the doorstep of the Hounds. All the pressure as we see Jacob Sunday running in with the ball. Getting tackled down again. Carter Beelman cycling it back. And we had an advantage penalty, and we're coming back to that, according to the match official.
I mean, you got to give it up to this Hound side. So well rehearsed, so ready to go. Look at the defensive line speed. They have it figured out. They are joined together and moving up together. Unfortunately, find themselves on the wrong side of that ruck, creating a situation where the referee has to hold that long arm penalty. But, man, the defense of this Hound side is definitely motivated to make a hit.
As we have the line out now for the Thunderbirds. Caleb Rubenheimer, the fly half with the kick, very close. Looks like it's right on the 5-meter line. Chris Shade from Columbus Rugby Club with the put in, with the line out throw. Thunderbirds were miscued on a couple of their lineouts, and they are once again lineout worries for the Thunderbirds. It may cost them, as we have the big boy, Jackson Zabierek, running in with the ball. He gets taken down. Ball is cycled back. Sam Walsh with it, passes it. Good tackle down. Goes Mason Wells of the Hounds. Cycled back to Sam Walsh again, passing it to his teammates. Ball is passed back by Hunter Maudlin. And though, again, Thunderbirds with some amazing defense, and it looks like the Hounds lost the ball in the tackle, but unfortunately, penalty against the Thunderbirds.
Yeah, I think just where the ball popped out, I don't think the referee had a clear line of sight of it, you know, as far as like being perfectly right. But I don't also think that's a bad call too. It looked like the tackle was already made and players were pulling at the ball. Ball pops out, ref blows his whistle. That's a part of it. And able to keep it in.
Yeah, unfortunately, Sam Walsh not able to kick the ball into touch, so a little bit of a miscue on the Hound side now. But fortunately, the Hounds are able to get the ball back. Big run by Tom Navarra. Plays with the Chicago Blaze as his local club. Ooh, a little bit again of a mishandling of the ball by the Hounds.
Unlucky.
And we have a knock-on.
Unlucky, boys.
You know, you got to be mindful of a lot of things that's happening that you are expecting to see and not expecting to see. One thing is miscues off of penalties, unhandling or not clear handing of the ball on those passes. That was a good enough pass to bring in two hands and make the play. The kick out of bounds, being close to that touch line, kept in. It looks like the Thunderbirds are making the most of this small mistakes. And these are small mistakes that the Hounds are committing. It hasn't yielded a lead for them as far as right now, but it gave them a great setup for the match early on. So,
especially on that side.
Right, as we mentioned earlier, Lance, as we were just talking about the Division I game, how things started to change for the Chicago Lions at one point. Those little mistakes start to add up, and it could end up being a lead change for the Thunderbirds if the Hounds aren't careful. And here we go with the put in for the Thunderbirds. Carter Beelman from the Detroit Tradesmen was voted Player of the Year back in 2022. Was put in, and it looks like the Thunderbirds are able to get the ball. Caleb Beelman cycles it back into the hands of Nathan Vlaka from the Red River Ruffians. He's taken down. Beelman now passing it to the right side. Hounds, though, good defensive wall, stopping the Thunderbirds short, but they're cycling it again towards the right. And now the Hounds showing a lot of great grit in defense. Big kick by Caleb Rubenheimer to get the ball. That was a beautiful
50-22. 50-22.
Yes,
50-22.
like you called it, Lance, it is a 50-22. If you don't know, if you're new to rugby, the way the rules work, if you kick the ball past the 50-yard line and you kick the ball that bounces out into the 22, past the 22, out of bounds, it actually stays in your possession. A rule change happened about maybe 3 or 4 years ago, but definitely a game changer here for the Thunderbirds.
Yeah, and it just leads to more open play with so many of those outside defenders, the wing and back three having to stay in a deeper position as the teams get further into attack.
And here we go. This time the lineup is successful, and the Thunderbirds, oh, unfortunately, looks like there is a penalty called against the Thunderbirds. Wow, they were right there at the 5-meter line. Very fortunate for the Hounds.
And you got to feel for them because that's the first line out outside of the opening line out of the match that they converted. The rest of them been thrown overhead or off target, and they finally get one right, and the Hounds, just so stout defensively, stand their ground and take the ball back.
And so the ball is kicked out into touch. It remains Hounds possession. So Jackson Zabierek, as mentioned before, drafted in the second round, the 2023 MLR draft, has his chance to throw in for the lineouts. And here we go. It is a successful take. Ball is cycled back. Hounds are on the attack. But again, the Thunderbirds, got to commend them. Really strong defense. They have made the Hounds work for every meter that they've been gaining. But, good fend by the Hounds. And that was a big paw to the chest. It looks like the Hounds have an advantage. Sam Walsh playing scrum half here, cycles the ball back. Hounds still with advantage. So it's almost like a free play for the Hounds. They can keep cycling the ball back and play with it a little bit more freer until that hand goes down by the match official. And now we have number 14, Nate Purcell, making his way forward. Ball almost stolen from him. Hunter Maudlin cycling the ball back to Sam Walsh, passing it now into the hands of Owen McGuffin. And now the Hounds really causing the Midwest to go on the back foot, and here's the breakaway. It is once again, I believe again, Calvin Eric for the brace.
And you talk about opportunistic, just a hungry Hound side. Push forward, push forward, push forward. We just watched this Thunderbird side get pushed back, and when the space was on the inside, off the left, off the right to straighten up, the reverse arm Finn, and he is in Calvin. He got drafted. Now this man is putting up a doubler for the Hounds against this side. What an amazing bit of play.
Yes, Calvin Eric, the number 3 overall draft pick in the 2024 draft, drafted by the Miami Sharks. Unfortunately, of course, the Miami Sharks no longer around. So he's technically a very valuable free agent, and wow, that's another first for me, Lance. The ball was blocked. The conversion kick was actually blocked by Darrell Williams. Usually that's an easy kick right in front of the uprights, but Darrell timed it perfectly and denied that conversion. We'll see it again right here. Boom.
It looks like he was onside. It looked like he did everything procedurally he was supposed to. Opportunistic when the time shows itself, and able to keep some points off the board. That just shows he's eager to continue this match. He's eager for the fight.
There you go. Darrell Williams has quite a bit of experience. He is a one-time cap USA Eagles Sevens player. Made his debut in the Dubai Sevens event in 2024, formerly of Life University, and a San Francisco native. Ball unfortunately goes out into touch, and it looks like, I believe they're having some conversation about where the ball went out.
Come here, boys, on the 5.
And it looks like because there was maybe a knock on and the ball went out of touch like we had a little bit earlier in the match, it is decided that it'll be a scrum, and the
Forward
scrum,
into
I
touch, boys.
believe, will
Scrum
go
call.
to
Here's the con, you brother. Boys. 5. Thank you.
So once again, Carter Beelman with the put in for the scrum. The scrum for the Thunderbirds has been pretty strong against the Hounds. We'll see how it goes in this go-around. Ball is fed in. And yes, the Thunderbirds are able to get the ball back. Beelman passes the ball, cycles it to the hands of Nathan Alaka. I don't know if he realized it was going into his hands, and he loses it. Sam Walsh with the ball, passing it down for the Hounds. But again, look at that defense. And the defense of the Thunderbirds able to take it, but of course we had a knock on earlier, so going back for advantage, knock on by the Thunderbirds.
Yeah, just confidence in every bit, unable to really hold on to it. He's been having a semi sort of day, being put in a lot of positions, unable to get that tackle on Calvin going in to score, and a chance for him to really put his hand up offensively, couldn't make it happen.
Keep the space, boys.
And now we have
space.
Maudlin for the
Thank you.
Chicago Hounds
Set.
Academy, putting the ball in for the scrum. And a very strong scrum by the Hounds. Ball cycled out into the hands of Sam Walsh. Oh, mishandled, I believe, by Dane Joyce for the Hounds. But Dane Joyce with the tackle. He makes up for losing the ball, gets a strong tackle on the Thunderbirds. Ball cycled back. Big tackle by the Hounds. Both sides playing very strong defense. Oh, misplay of the pass. Oh, recovered. But the play is blown dead by the official. It was a knock-on first by the Hounds. Very unfortunate.
Yeah, and a sigh of relief for the Thunderbird side. They might have ended up giving up a walk-in try, untouched, uncontested. And I mean, you can see the physicality. Both teams seem to be putting bodies on the line. This pass, just a little array, bounced perfectly between and around two of the big boys and unable to gather it. And Jackson, he almost found himself walking in, and he's been on a tear so far in this matchup, really showcasing himself. That could have been a moment that he could take a sigh of relief and just, you know, reel in the accomplishment of walking in a try like that.
Very true. Score once again, Chicago Hounds 12, Thunderbirds 5. As we just past the 30-minute mark in the first half of this contest. Carter Beelman once again feeding the ball into the scrum for the Thunderbirds. Oh, big pushback by the Hounds. Look at that power that the Hounds Academy is showing. Hounds are able to take the ball back. Pass. Oh, mishandled pass though. Thunderbirds able to recover. Ball's passed back into the hands of Caleb Rubenheimer. He kicks it down towards the tri-zone. Hounds are able to recover, but there is so much pressure now as the Thunderbirds are swarming the Hounds. Hounds trying to find a way to relieve that pressure. Good move by Matt de Villiers. Passing the ball, but lost the ball on the tackle. Thunderbirds now with it. Ball is going back and forth between both squads.
Playing advantage. Knocked on. You were good. No advantage. Knocked
And
on.
it looks like we're going back to that knock-on that we had
Knock on
earlier by the Hounds.
And this goes back to what I said about overconfidence. You're deeper your own end. You have everything necessary to set up, establish yourself, and kick the ball to space. But a couple of passes here and fighting to stay in bounds on the sideline, unable to keep possession. And it's just the small things for this Hound side. Like, you want to coach them to individually showcase who they are, because this is a moment to raise your hand. But also, you have to play within form, within yourself, and within the team, and within the structure. And that was a moment they could establish the structure. But they're so confident, and I can't blame them.
Set. Hold blue, hold
And
blue,
here we
hold.
go once again. Billman with the win for the scrum for the Thunderbirds.
Advantage.
This time,
Blue down.
well, there was a penalty advantage given to the Thunderbirds. And the Thunderbirds play on. Ball, oh, skipped out of the hands. It looks like Ahmed Al-Asiri, number 21, coming off of the reserve bench into play. Just missed that pass, but there was an advantage.
Penalty.
I believe there was a pull down during the scrum. And it looked like right out there. Yeah, and so now the Thunderbirds, unfortunately, fortunately, they had the penalty advantage. So even though Ahmed Al-Asiri lost the ball, they still get to keep it and try again.
You know, we can sit in this, I can sit in this booth and play the level of perfection and da-da-da-da. But what the Hounds have shown so far doesn't make me believe that they're playing to the point in which they can't, like, turn it on. Like, everything they've done so far just proves to me that as soon as they lock into the team aspect of how they need to approach this, they're going to start running away down the field a little bit. But the Thunderbirds have so much fight, and they continue to fight. Look at this maul.
And that line out, once again, successful for the Thunderbirds. It looks like they've turned around their line out woes, but Maul's been brought down. But they are right at the doorstep, once again, of the Hounds tri-zone. Number 10, Caleb Rubenheimer, trying to go in. He gets taken down. Carter Bielman cycling the ball back. Is there an opening on the side? There might be. Yes, there is. Is he able to put it down? Ooh. He might have been taken out before putting the ball down.
It wasn't a controlled put down. They could say knock on.
Mark will be on 5 and 5.
You might be
Because he
absolutely
got
right
tackled.
on that last.
Yeah, he got tackled, and he wanted to put the ball down, and he bounced it instead of a firm placement, stand up and pick up. So that kind of lends itself to say knock on, right? And even, you know, the tackle here, you can argue maybe there's some him going out of bounds before he places it. But he's tackled here, and he goes to set the ball down, and it's almost like he bounced it. And any ref will call that a knock on, essentially. Unless you just place it firm and let it rest, you know, that's a knock on.
Very unfortunate once again for the Thunderbirds. Very unfortunate for Ahmed Al-Asiri, who seems to be at the wrong end of a couple of very crucial plays. Here we go with the Hounds, with the scrum. As we're approaching the last 5 minutes of the half, that scrum just fell right apart. But the Hounds able to, with the line break, number 12, Dan Joyce, who's been a really strong player so far for the Hounds this half. Sam Walsh keeping himself upright, was able to offload the ball in time. And now it looks like the Thunderbirds are on their back foot. But looks like maybe, yep, looks like the Thunderbirds able to take the ball away. Great heads-up play by the Thunderbirds there to steal the ball back. Fortunately, Hounds with the defense. Number 6, Gavin Spizak, who scored earlier today, had nowhere to go. Ooh, big tackle there for the Thunderbirds. Carter Bielman with the dummy, tries to run it on his own, but he gets taken down. A little bit of sloppy play, ball falls out into the hands. Nope. penalty against the Hounds, I believe, for playing the ball on the ground.
Absolutely. He did his job disrupting that ruck, did everything perfect, moved guys out of the way, caused the ball to be out. But unfortunately, as he rolled on the ground, he looked to see the ball next to him and reached and grabbed it. It's just instincts. And unfortunately, your instincts get you caught up. This is a good job here. The drive on the bigger man. And he sees the ball on the ground and decides to take this opportunity to get his hands on it. Unfortunately, got to be on your feet to play rugby.
Hard not to resist, right, Lance? When you just see it right there, and you're like, oh, I can make a play.
I don't blame him.
But
I don't blame him. It's a rugby ball. We playing rugby. All right.
So here you go, line out with the Thunderbirds. Fortunately, the line out, I pretty much jinxed them. I was going to say the line out play has been going very smoothly for the Thunderbirds, but that one cost them. And it might cost them a try here. Number 2, Jackson Zamirik, running like he's a lightweight. Amazing how big that man and how fast he can go. Ball, though, stays inside the pitch. Hounds still with possession. And there you go, the danger man, Calvin Ehrig's already scored 2 tries. Moving the ball closer and closer to Thunderbird territory. Wow! Ball to the hands of Patrick Beatty. Ball is jostled. I believe we have a penalty against the Thunderbirds being offside. Quick play by the Hounds. They're not waiting around. And they are very close. Tackle down. Thunderbirds have to figure out a way to man up their defense. A little bit slow, getting the ball back into the hands of Hunter Modlin. Here we go to Sam Walsh. Big looping pass right into the hands. This time to number 14, Nate Purcell. Wide open on the edge. Try for the Hounds.
You know, and even when they get these line breaks, there was a penalty. The Thunderbirds had an opportunity to kind of organize themselves better, but it's just too much pressure, too fast. Look how many Thunderbirds on the left side of that ruck with nobody around, just to find themselves outnumbered on the other side of the field. And they could have resourced that side of the field a lot better. Those are the little things about Motley Crew teams coming together that they have to figure out. Is the communication clean? Is there an understanding between you and the defender that's next to you? You got to put a lot of trust defensively in the man next to you. If you haven't played with them or spent time with them, it's hard to develop that. And it looks like the Hounds are taking as much of advantage of that disconnect as they can. That might be the second try and that we've seen that was basically all about the Thunderbirds defensively not being able to connect to each other well and really work hard for each other.
Right. And if you're new to the Midwest Thunderbirds, basically an all-star team, right, Lance? Not necessarily a team that consistently practices every week with each other. So as you mentioned, very hard to build that that communication and that unity if you barely ever get to see these players.
I mean, we can go a step further. You're usually playing against these players. These are people you might not necessarily like, right? Right. Usually you're fighting against them, and now you have to find a way to find commonality to fight together. And, you know, how many times could they have practiced, worked together, maybe yesterday, right? Maybe a couple of weeks ago or something, but not too often, right? So it makes it really hard for a Hound side if they've been spending time together. Even if it's not a lot, it's enough, you know?
Right. More than what the Thunderbirds are doing.
Absolutely.
Here we go with the time going into official time. This is probably going to be the last play of the half. Thunderbirds able to recover the restart. Hounds up 17-5. Ooh, again, miscommunication. Ball does not go to hand, but fortunately Thunderbirds able to recover. And we do see now a lot of reserves off of the bench for the Thunderbirds. Number 22, Alex Verdon, a Chicago Lions player. Now onto the pitch as the Thunderbirds. They're not out of this game yet. Just one try, a converted try. They'll be within it, and they have the opportunity right now. They are marching in. Number 7, Michael Witt, taken down. Ball cycled back once again by Carter Bielman. Going into the hands of Jake Reed, another reserve player. Looks like practically the whole reserve bench is reserve players are off of the bench. Ball cycled back. Oh, nope. Thought we would see the pass or the offload by Carter Bielman. Instead, he tries to go in. Ball is out. Ball is out. Hounds take over with the turnover, passing it back to the open side on the left. Thunderbirds trying to scramble now on defense. Sam Walsh with the ball, passing it. Oh, unfortunately, pops out of the hands of the Hounds player, recovered by the Thunderbirds. Now the Thunderbirds back on offense. Oh, looks like there is a greasy ball on the pitch. And that is the half, as we are going into the sheds for our break. At the half, Chicago Hounds 17, Thunderbirds 5. Lance, any thoughts on this first half?
Scrappy team versus a team of ultimate confidence makes an entertaining match for us. I can't wait for the second half.
Sounds good. We'll be taking a short break as we go into the second half. But again, stay with us here, Midwest Rugby Union, the Thunderbird Cup, as the Thunderbirds taking on the Chicago Hounds Academy.
It's great. I mean, we all love each other. We all like hanging out at these tournaments. I mean,
just meeting so many new people and getting to know them is just amazing. And meeting so many new friends is definitely.
Nah, one word is family. Like, you got people like you can depend on.
Probably my favorite part of playing rugby is like I can forget any problem I'm having at school or at home or just any kind of worry or burden and just like give it my all on the field.
And we all choose to come here. We don't have to be here, you know. It's just good fun coming out on a Sunday, playing, getting all together, and just great.
All right, so yeah, I think it's the fact that we can play very hard, smack each other up, boom each other, and just eat good, and talk to laugh with each other after.
So, one thing that rugby's done for you?
It's brought up a lot of my confidence. I wasn't very confident in middle school, and I knew that if I wanted to become a better player, I would have to bring up my game, which I did, and I've just become so much like a better person to myself. I see myself in such a bigger light, and I'm honestly so much happier playing rugby.
I ain't gonna lie, if it wasn't for them, I don't think I would like be around here, to be honest. So I guess family.
New York Rugby Club is a great community because they put you around great people such as Alex, my coach Alex, and he teaches me more about rugby, how I can make my game better every day and elevate it to the next.
Nah, but like, you feel me? But like, I bet, like, you know how the hood is, so you know, like, it's crazy, like, around shooters and all that stuff. So it's just keeping me out from there, and then changing from like me got to worry about, oh, I can't walk here, instead of just changing my life and being positive and don't need to worry about anything that much.
I think people really underestimate women in sports. Like in my school, rugby, especially the girls' rugby, is really strong, and I don't think a lot of people expect that that women can have the sort of strength or like sort of drive that men can have in sports. And I mean, you can see today, like, it's pretty much even. Women want to, you know, have an outlet for physical contact or something to blow off steam just as much as men do. And they're just as physical, and we're just as, I guess, you can say aggressive as men can be, and we can be just as successful on the rugby field. So I think it just helped me learn that whatever a man can do, I can do it. It's no worries. I can do exactly what they can do.
just wanna get down with you. Listen, I can call you mine. Once more than I swear we are through. We should still have fun, though we say we're done. 'Cause I just wanna get down with you. Listen, I can call you mine. Once more than I swear we are through. should still have fun, though we say we don't. 'Cause I just wanna get down with you. For the last time, I can call you mine. Once more, then I swear we are through. We should still have fun, though we say we don't. 'Cause I just wanna get down with you. For the last time, I can call you mine. Once more, then I swear we are through.
And welcome back, rugby fans, to the Chicago Blaze facility here in Lemont, Illinois, as we have the Thunderbird Cup, Midwest Thunderbirds, taking on the Chicago Hounds Academy. This is the halftime right leading into second half. As you see, the Thunderbirds are coming back onto the pitch. Lance, this has been a very exciting game. What do you feel both teams need to do to improve into the second half?
Great.
Well, it's two things that the Hounds need to do immediately. They need to lean back into the team structure approach immediately, and they need to, in a structured way, play down to their competition. Instead of believing that they can break and run whenever they get the ball, they need to lean more into maybe this team and treat the team across from them like it's a full-blown MLR team in effect, right? For the Thunderbirds, they have been scrappy this entire match, and they've been getting steals off of individuals going as far as they can and putting in so much effort, which is beautiful. But they need to find a way to lean themselves into a team understanding. The lineouts fix themselves, but not really. The scrums aren't really an issue, but can be. It's one of those things with them where they just need to believe and trust the person next to them, but it's easier said than done, being that they're a new teammate.
Time's on, boys.
All right, here is the start of the second half. Thunderbirds kicking off to the Hounds. Hounds again in that nice, beautiful, I believe would be like a turquoise blue. Thunderbirds in your green and white hoops. Hounds cycling the ball back Thunderbirds again showing that strong defense they had in the first half. Big take, I believe, by Hunter Mullen, decided to run instead of pass. And Hounds are again taken down. I believe that was Jackson Zibarek being taken down. Yes, the number 2. Ball cycled again. Fortunately recovered by the Hounds. Thunderbirds are right on top of it. And we got a steal. Wow. Number 12, Nathan Avlaka, just takes the ball. Oh, tried to get a tricep pass to no one. But fortunately for the Thunderbirds, we have a penalty against the Hounds. And a quick tap by Nathan Avlaka, the guy who started it all, as he's muscling his way through to the 5-meter line. We have the ball cycling back to the right. Hounds trying to muscle up some quick defense. Thunderbirds kind of starting the second half like they did the first half. They scored in the opening minutes. Can the Thunderbirds stay in? He's out into touch, unfortunately. Pushed out by the Hounds. But it looks like we're going back for a penalty advantage against the Hounds.
Not back 10 on that quick tap penalty. Didn't get themselves aligned in proper form, and the referee is right on top of that. But the Thunderbirds got to stay away from that touch line this close to the try line. That extra defender never misses. You touch him once, you turn the ball over. Got to keep away from that touch line.
Exactly, and as we saw, number 2, Chris Shade, trying to make his way to the try zone, stopped right short. But the Thunderbirds are right there, and they are muscling their way through. A lot of pick and goes. Here's another pick and go by Chris Shade, and he gets it down this time. Try for the Thunderbirds to open up the second half.
And that organizationally was some of the best we've seen the Thunderbirds. Pick and goes, organizing, communicating, shuffling around, working together, and the space opened up so easy. That quick tap there, big hit up. Guys latching on, doing what they can to get this tackler down and resource this ruck. Able to get another pick and go. Held strong, but you can see multiple players moving around, and that space is just open with the flagpole there, with the post there, just able to sneak in and get that try. And that's a great bit for the Thunderbirds. The penalty after penalty after penalty, everything they've done at this moment. The steals, they worked really hard to get that try, and they earned it.
And I do not know. It sounded like maybe the conversion was successful, but we're not quite sure just yet. Score right now is 10-17. Hounds still up, and we have Sam Walsh from the Chicago Hounds kicking the ball off for the restart. And here we go. Ball is up. Oh, misplayed by the Thunderbirds, but fortunately recovered, as we have number 5, DJ Martin, running in to a wall of Hounds. The Hounds, though, able to look like they're able to take it, but no, unfortunately, penalty against the Hounds.
Yeah, and it looks like he might have been able to get hands-on, but after he was hitting the ground and already falling down, he's pulling at the ball and putting it to his side of the field. Referee is right on top of that. And what a great bit of play for him individually if he could have made that steal, but unfortunately unable to keep his feet.
And now we have confirmation that the conversion was successful. Thunderbirds 12, Hounds 17. The Thunderbirds just down by 5 points here in the beginning of the second half. And now with a line out for the Thunderbirds. The first half, Lance, we saw Thunderbirds line out was not one of their strong points.
It wasn't, and from the very beginning they knew that. The very first line out, they spiked into the ground to add a bit of randomness to it, and it worked out fine, and they score around the outside, far side of the field. Since then, it's been overthrows and highly contested line out throws. This is one place where team cohesion matters the most.
And they were able to be successful on the lineout, but not necessarily the follow-up pass. But fortunately, the Thunderbirds able to recover the ball, keep it in their possession. I believe we have DJ Martin playing scrum half. He is unfortunately loses the ball. No, penalty. I believe not releasing the tackled player. Penalty against the Hounds.
And this kind of stuff has to be minimalized for the Hounds. They gave up a try just recently off of multiple penalties, giving the Thunderbirds multiple bites at the apple. Thunderbirds don't need extra chances to make things happen. It seems like they've been doing a good job the first time. Hounds need to find their discipline here.
And the ball is not kicked to touch, so a miscue by the Thunderbirds that allows the Hounds to recover the ball well in their territory. but they're slowly starting to work their way. I believe we'll see the kick by Sam Walsh. Yep, relieves some pressure as the ball is kicked well into Thunderbirds territory, though it takes a fortuitous bounce for the Thunderbirds. A little bit slip on the field. We've been seeing the field seems to be a little bit of a mess. We saw a Hounds player, he slipped as he kicked, and now it looks like we might have a maul here as the Hounds are trying to keep the Thunderbird player upright. As we're trying our best to play as well as we can here. The Thunderbirds holding up the ball. And we have a penalty towards the Hounds.
Not blowing the ones, keep going forward. That's it. Whistle's gone. Whistle's gone.
I mean,
Just brought it in. Not unplayable maul.
a bit of positives. The maul was mauling pretty early there, and the Thunderbirds pushing it an extra 15 to 20 meters at least gives them a little bit of space of relief if they're going to lose the ball. But just strong presence to hold up these ball carriers, and that's what they were penalized for. So it seems like the Hounds are going to try their best to hold up ball carriers if possible.
And it looks like we're going to have a little bit of a maintenance here by our medical team for the Hounds. One of the Hounds players needs to get his head wrapped up. As we mentioned before, Lance, rugby, a very physical game. Don't really have time to have too much of a checkup on any of our players. Some of them just have to really patch themselves up and go. They have to continue playing.
Yeah, and it's so many things that are unique to rugby that just doesn't land in other sports here in the United States. I think the part of the referees, not the referees, excuse me, but medical staff being on the field while the game is in play is such a rugby thing that we don't get to see that much of. And taking a second just to patch a player up really quickly, not cart them off the field or take them away, but just to make sure they're good, they stay in the game and continue playing. And those are the kind of things traditionally that make rugby so unique and great.
It's why I fell in love with rugby, to be honest. Just a very, very gritty sport. And as we see, the scrum falls apart, but the ball stays in Hounds territory. Though a miss pass there, ball though able to stay in the pitch zone now. Unfortunately, Tom Navarra of the Hounds Academy pushed out into touch. Ball turned over to the Thunderbirds.
And goodness, it seems like every time there's an opportunity to make a play in these last...
It's a line out your ball.
In this last bit of time, the Thunderbirds are the ones making the play. I mean, getting that ball carrier out of bounds in great position for themselves is a plus, but just can't convert that line out.
Yeah, unfortunately, that play seemed pretty well thought out, but just not executed too full as the ball pops out of hands.
On the 15, boys, on the 15.
I believe that was Chris Fisher, number 3. And now we have a knock on, therefore we are going to have a scrum to the Hounds.
And electing for the scrum is a great precedence here. If they decide they want to clear their lines, kick for space, the boot has been good to them. Let's see if they continue that train of thought. They haven't really leaned on it when they're on their own end, but this seems like a good a time if any.
And there you go, put in again by Hunter Maudlin for the Hounds. Ball's taken by number 16, Brian Flamenco, I believe. Now ball's passed. Hounds are on the attack. Thunderbirds trying their best to get some sort of defense. Jackson Zebrek, who has been all over the pitch today, finally taken down, but we are well in Hounds territory. Penalty called against the Thunderbirds.
All right, boys, all right, let's go.
And it's simple not rolling away. That's just how you compound issues. After giving up such a line break to then immediately give up a penalty just doesn't spell well to the success of this match for you.
And Sam Walsh with the kick to touch. Just a little bit on the outside of the 5-meter line for the Hounds. Hounds lineout has been operating much better than the Thunderbirds. We'll see if the Thunderbirds can keep their stout defense and prevent the Hounds from entering in here on this lineout. Throw in by Jackson Zabarek.
No contest,
Good
boys,
take.
no contest.
Looks like a good solid
Keep it up,
maul.
Green, keep it up, Green,
Jackson
keep it
Zebrick
up.
has the
Don't
ball
collapse,
at
don't
the back
collapse.
of that
Don't
ball.
collapse
They're
it.
getting closer
Down
towards
by
the
blue,
front
down by blue.
of the
Down by blue.
uprights.
Blue's in your own
He
way,
is
you're in
just
your own way.
short.
Offside.
Hunter Maudlin passing the ball.
Offside.
Here comes the Hounds. Thunderbirds trying their hardest to keep up that defense. Hunter Maudlin passing the ball again. Hounds are itching their way closer. Thunderbirds scrambling to figure out where they should shore
Offside
up
again. Two
any
offsides,
possible
boys, let it go.
holes. I believe there's an offsides by the Thunderbirds. Yep, we're coming back for an offsides.
And this is, again, compounding. You give up a maul that gets so much meterage and kind of pushes your defensive line and pressures your entire defensive line. It gets pulled down, which is beautiful, but then the offsides right after, just compounding issues for the Thunderbirds.
And Jackson Zebrick trying to do it all by himself, just short of the try line. Hounds cycling the ball back. Oh, looks like we do have a knock-on advantage, but the Hounds still have the ball, and it looks like it's a try. Nope.
Right.
Nope, never mind.
That's a try. 1-6.
Try. It is a try. It is a try by number 6, Colin Turner.
And then, no, in the no.
1-6, 1-6. It was Brian.
You knocked it on. You played it.
Brian Flamenco, number 16, gets the try. The Thunderbirds looks like they're a little upset about the call, possibly some confusion like myself on what was called earlier. As you see Michael Witt talking to the match official. Walk us through this, Lance, of exactly how the try was scored.
Well, Jackson almost gets in itself. You can see the fight over the ruck right there with Calvin being put over, but that knock-on was the issue. The referee didn't blow it up immediately because the ball, after the Thunderbird player jumped on it, ended up losing it. And there was just a Hound right there, opportunistically picked the ball up, fell in for the try. That's the replacement, Brian Flamenco. And again, the scrappy team making the mistakes is forcing issues for themselves. Compounding issues. I mean, that knock-on going in the score right there is an issue. That can be seen as a yellow card offense, penalty try offense if you get the right referee. But instead, just a simple knock-on and a try happens, so it's all good and forgiven, but it doesn't really help the circumstances. T-Birds got to find a way to get a little bit more discipline, and the Hounds are being rewarded for not being structurally sound or team official approach. They're attacking from their own 22 with enthusiasm and confidence, and it's working out for them.
And, of course, the conversion was successful. Scores 24-12 Hounds. Thunderbirds with the restart ball, though.
Green ball.
Looks like it got knocked into the touch. So we're going to have a line out for the Thunderbirds. Let's see if the Thunderbirds can make up for their lacking line out skills thus far.
And just a great scenario for the Thunderbirds. Again, look where they're at. They're down 12 points at any time helps. Got to secure these lineouts though.
Contest. Off his head. No,
unfortunately, they lose another lineout. This time though, Hounds a little bit more fighting for that lineout. But they do get a penalty off of that. So penalties just mounting, as you mentioned before, Lance, against the Thunderbirds.
And we're back to the same conversation of compounding issues. You lose a line out that could have been winnable, should have been winnable. It's not a knock-on or any infringements, but you follow that up with a penalty, allowing Sam Walsh to get comfortable with that right boot and position his team further down the field when they're already primed to attack. Just gives his Hound side so much confidence. And it's just a continuation from everything that's been happening earlier in this match. Referee calls are strong, and he's been standing on his proper referee business. You got to be more disciplined.
Line out by the Hounds, not contested by the Thunderbirds. Hounds now fighting past that 50-meter line into Thunderbirds territory. Look like the Hounds are ready to pour it on here in the second half. Sam Walsh with the ball, good run, good line break. Hunter Maudlin trying to cycle the ball back. He gets taken down. Looks like there is a turnover by the Thunderbirds. Thunderbirds with that strong play, knocking Hunter Maudlin and getting the ball back. But it looks like a penalty against the Thunderbirds, so the Hounds will get the ball back to their side.
So much confidence in this side. As you said, it looks like the Hounds are ready to go. It looks like they're heavy on the front foot. They're aggressive. They're strong. They already had the belief, but I believe now with the mistakes that the Thunderbirds are making, that confidence is just multiplying. Right foot again by Sam Walsh put him further closer to that try line. 2 penalties, and they've covered right around 50 meters or so. You got to minimize his penalties if you're a Thunderbird side.
Yeah, especially in this game, those 50 meters, very, very crucial. Line out for the Hounds. Jackson Zeberick once again with the line out throw. Last line out was not contested by the Thunderbirds. Let's see what happens here as we are at the 22-meter line of the Thunderbirds. Ball quickly taken by number 16, Brian Flamengo, who just scored a try moments ago, looking to try to score a second one. Hunter Maudlin, kind of an off-balance pass, but able to get the ball. Ooh, ball squirts out, and the Thunderbirds fortunately able to recover. Let's see if they're able to get the ball out of their territory. As we see ball being passed back by Carter Billman. Oh no, the ball, it looks like the ball is like a soap bar as it is just popping from hand to hand. Looks like we're going for the first of multiple knock-ons, which was by the Hounds, so Thunderbirds recovered the ball.
You know, if it was a soap ball, I think play would be a little bit cleaner. Ha ha ha. But no, they seem to just multiply, and they're not able to keep their hands on the ball. First is a knock-on by the Hounds, followed by a knock-on by the T-Birds. But the T-Birds were in a position where they were just taking the most of that free play in a sense. Didn't work out, but a great chance for them to lock in and go back at it right here.
We are approaching the 55th. We are approaching the 56th minute of the match. Hounds 24, Thunderbirds 12. I'm Joshua Shibata. He is Lance Kavanaugh. We are here at the Thunderbirds Cup as the Thunderbirds are trying to make something out of this play, trying to get out of their territory. Quick pass, taken down. Hounds trying to mount some sort of defense. Ooh, looks like Billman took a hit. He just fell over in pain. Ball is recovered, but looks like there's a penalty. Hopefully Carter Billman, the starting scrum half for the Thunderbirds, is okay, but he just fell over in a lot of pain.
Yeah, it looks like he was grabbing at his hamstring. Maybe he was in an awkward position trying to pick the ball up, or you know, it's a lot of chaos happening in these rucks and around these rucks. It's a highly contested ruck on this day. And he makes the pass here. There's a tackle. And as soon as he gets over the ball, maybe fighting over a guy or two, he just gets put in a split from the guy rolling underneath him. Puts him in an awkward position. Referee doesn't call it. And I don't know if you do call it, but, I mean, you know, these academies players know the tricks. You got to put respect on it. They know the tricks and the little slights and the little advantages. And, you know, hopefully it doesn't end in injury, but, you know, you can't blame them for the role. It's a good play. It's a good thought.
Right. It's as long as you don't get caught, right? It's all good.
Right. As long as the ref doesn't call it.
Right, line out play still not good for the Thunderbirds, but fortunately the Hounds lose the ball, so the Thunderbirds are able to recover. But yeah, the line out troubles for the Thunderbirds still continues. Now, how do you fix that, Lance? Let's talk about that for a second. This has been an ongoing issue throughout the match. Is there any way you can fix it this late in the game?
Well, if we go deep into line-out philosophy and what it takes to win a line-out, the timing, the height of the throw, the speed of the throw, everything that's involved, it's too many variables for a team that's not working on these skills together to really fix. They might have to go back to the random spiking the ball on the ground. They might have to do a lot more deeper fake line-outs to just get to the front pod of the throw. Or they might have to just go short with no lift, but front pod throw. You know, you got to accept it.
That one worked.
Yeah.
Got it. That one worked, though. So Thunderbirds now with the ball in Hounds territory, something that we haven't really seen too much in this half, except for the very beginning when the Thunderbirds were able to open up with the first try of the second half. Thunderbirds trying to capitalize right now on being in Hounds territory. Hounds, though, scrambling to push the player out. It looks like Darrell Williams was taken out into touch.
This is another piece of it, right? When you're an outside back in these situations that it isn't a sound structure environment, the chances of getting the ball kind of slim. You got to work a lot harder to get balls off kicks and things like that. It might not get all the way to you to the edge. And when it does, you want to hold on to it because you finally got an opportunity to put your hands on the peel. Great opportunity, cuts back inside like he's supposed to, but that cut inside needs to be matched with going down himself. He needs to lower his body height and not be driven out. But the opportunity to get the ball is so slim, you can't blame him for trying to hit the gusto, trying to hit the jackpot.
And the Hounds successful with their line out, but the Thunderbirds again with their defense. Got to commend them. 60 minutes in, and the Thunderbirds defense still looking very, very strong, forcing the Hounds to work for those extra meters. Sam Walsh with the kick, sending the ball into Thunderbirds territory. Ooh, almost lost the ball there, but the Thunderbirds able to recover, offload. Thunderbirds making it past the 50-meter line. Hounds, though, with their defense up. Ball is cycled back. And it looks like one of the big boys running through, breaking some lines here, trying to start up something. Thunderbirds need something just to keep them going. Again, it's only a 12-point matchup, 20 minutes left. We're going into, technically, if we want to go fourth quarter of this game, plenty of time for the Thunderbirds to make something happen. They're not out of it, but they need some sort of spark. Hopefully they'll find it right here. Looks like Scott Peterson taken down. Balls passed back, cycling. We see some of the reserves here on the pitch for the Thunderbirds. Oh, unfortunately, a mishandle of the ball there.
And you can just see it deflates that back line just a little bit. Because as we said, the opportunities aren't so abundant, or they aren't structurally placed. You know, you can, if you feel like the outside backs aren't getting the ball, you can set up for the next set piece and make sure it gets out wide, right? You can make sure the line out, they get the next call or two, right? You can emphasize getting it wider, but if we don't have that language, we haven't worked on it, them opportunities aren't really coming the way that you would like. And players are trying. You see they're playing team ball. They're trying to move the ball. No one's really hogging it. And these are all left-hand passes. And just to make the confirmation for a left-hand pass takes a bit. But you got to look clean. You got to make sure you're seeing that pass all the way through. And, man, it's unfortunate. I'm a winger. I feel for wingers not getting their hands on the ball from your own team. You know what I mean? It's a point of contention for me.
Sure, I know. I truly understand where you're coming from on that, Lance. Again, successful lineup by the Hounds. Hounds trying to get out of their territory. Some of their reserve players are now finally coming onto the pitch. Sam Walsh once again passing the ball back into the hands of number 23, Quinn Murray, is quickly taken down. And it looks like the Thunderbirds fighting for that ball. Again, you got to give them credit. Their defense is working really, really hard as we're going into past the 60th minute of the full match. And they are making the Hounds work for their meters. Oh, big takeaway here. Looks like, again, Jackson Zebrick. Oh, he is spinning around some NFL Blitz Madden moves on the pitch. As we're seeing the Hounds scrambling to get the ball back into the hands of some of their big boys, like that one right there, breaking through. Hunter Maudlin passing the ball back. Sam Walsh passes it down to Kobe Baker. He's taken down. And now, quick pickup by, I believe that was number 16, Brian Flamenco, who just scored earlier in the second half. Penalty, though, unfortunately, to the Hounds. Ball back to the Thunderbirds.
And also, we get a taste of the academy side not necessarily having full comprehension on the cohesion that forward packs and the team need, because Sam Walsh found himself at multiple rucks. He went from orchestrating the offense from a fly half position to having to be on top of the ruck. He's there for that one, and now he's the closest person to the next ruck when you have multiple forwards around the field not really getting around the way that you would like them to. And, you know, maybe that's just raising your hand and picking that this is my ruck, the next ruck is mine. But you see, Sam knew that it was time for him to get involved because they were under-resourced.
But usually, Lance, in a perfect scenario, you don't necessarily want to see your fly half do that, right, in a game?
You will want to avoid him getting his jersey dirty or being in a ruckus at all. You want to give him an opportunity to have a bird's eye view, step back, and able to point people where to go. Him and the scrum half connecting on what's the next step for the offense. Not being in the grime. You have locks and props to do that. Isn't that what they say that they do? Let them do it.
Right, exactly. And as we mentioned, some of the props and locks for the Hounds making their way towards the try zone for the Hounds. Thunderbirds again with a strong defense, almost getting the maul set up. But the Hounds able to cycle the ball back. Almost a miscue right there. Number 23, Quinn Murray, once again running with the ball, getting taken down by the strong Thunderbird defense. And we get a successful jackal by the Thunderbirds. Strong defensive turnover for them.
And again, the Dallas Jackals come back to life and get a steal in the Midwest. They show up when it's time to. I believe that was number 17 from the Midwest side, who found himself all over the ruck on the wrong side, upside down. The work had to be done. Hands are there. Multiple players pulling at him. And Jake Reed said, no, I got a book for you to read. It's called How to Get a Steal. And unfortunately, the Hounds somehow get the ball back.
Somehow the Hounds do get it back. They recover from that turnover. Sam Walsh once again, as Lance mentioned earlier, orchestrating the play, passing the ball to his fellow teammate there. Struggled to get him taken down. He was a big boy. The Thunderbirds really trying to make the tackle. There's a tackle there on number 12, Dan Joyce, who has been playing all over the pitch. Hunter Maudlin again passing to Sam Walsh. Oh, big connection right there. Hounds meet Thunderbirds. And unfortunately, a turnover, an extra roll by that Hounds player.
I'm sorry, your dinner only comes with one side and one roll, not two rolls. We'll have to charge you extra for that. And charged by a penalty, the Thunderbirds now can kick and clear their lines. Too much butter on the roll. And now the Thunderbirds are in prime position. What more can you ask for at a time like this? You're near the 22. You've been in this fight. There's been big collisions, as you see. That is a big tackle. And, you know, my guy just decided he wanted to roll down the hill. And unfortunately, it leads to a turnover, and the Thunderbirds have to do something now.
Ooh, oh. Unfortunately, ball looks like it was not straight. So ball is turned over to the Hounds. I was going to say, Lance, what could you ask for in a situation like this? I was going to say you can ask for, if you're a Thunderbird, a good, successful line out. But maybe that was a little too much to ask for in this situation.
The same mark, so you're out.
And they might have asked for a nice line out, but the Hounds did not acquiesce at all. They are not going to give you anything easy. They've shown themselves throughout this match. And, I mean, being disruptive is just so much part of defensive lineouts, and they got it figured out. As the Thunderbirds don't contest as out of fear of the maul.
Thank you.
And as you see, the Hounds now with the ball, they're going to take it back so Sam Walsh can kick the ball out of their territory. Sam Walsh has been kicking the ball all day. Missed time by the Thunderbirds, and yes, it is considered a knock-on. Bounce off of the Thunderbirds' hands. Very unfortunate.
I mean, and it's just a continuation of do one thing good, one thing bad happens. It's one of those circumstances. I mean, choosing not to contest in lineouts by the Thunderbirds out of fear of this maul that the Hounds have shown can get meterage for them if you aren't prepared from the beginning. But that is literally the example, and I mean dictionary example of bad luck in rugby. There's a picture of him with his hands out and the ball bouncing against his chest. It took it dropped early, took a sharp bounce. Everything you don't want as a receiver of a kick, he got. And unfortunately now the Hounds have a good scrum situation.
Yeah, unfortunately that was number 10, Caleb Rubenheimer, the fly half for the Thunderbirds. And now in the dictionary of bad luck.
So how much time? Everybody blames each other. 12 left. For the scrum. 12 left, boys.
It looks like, again, a lot of tired bodies as we're nearing the 70th minute of the match. And it looks like both packs are a little tired as we're resetting for this scrum.
All right, boys, let's hold the shape. Let's hold this shape. Thank you. Crouch! Bind! Hold. Set! Wait for the ball, boys. Wait for the ball!
Here you go, Hunter Maudlin putting the ball in. You heard the match official telling the boys to hold that shape as the ball is passed. Nice little run there by the Hounds. Maudlin again passing to Walsh, passing it to Quinn Murray. That looks like he might have lost the ball. Either he lost the ball or was trying to pass it, but unfortunately, ball goes out to touch. So, fortune for the Thunderbirds, but it looks like it's, wait. No, I can't tell if they're chewing. They are going to do a line out, so unfortunately for the Thunderbirds, it is another line out for them.
Yeah, he went for the kick. Just went for the quick kick right there, but the angle was just too sharp. And it looks like he had people ready to go, just too much weight on the ball, and unfortunately couldn't hang on to it and handle it.
Accidental. It was accidental, boys, but he did get an advantage as a result. That's all. It was accidental.
An accidental
Got an
obstruction.
advantage as a result. Tyler couldn't make the tackle.
And as you hear the match officials saying, because of the accidental obstruction, and he did take advantage of it, that is a penalty, and the ball then goes towards the Hounds. So, again, the little things like the line out just racking up against the Thunderbirds this late in the match.
11 minutes, boys.
And it just continues to show up. But blessings that it was not a penalty, but only a accidental obstruction. So we're going to go down to the scrum for the Hounds. But I mean, the whistle for this match has been in absolute control. I like how he's keeping the game safe, keeping the game flowing, allowing them to play the advantages that they need to. He seems to have a great handle of this matchup.
Bind!
It's just
Yeah,
good to
going
see.
on that, Lance. Yeah, going on that, Lance. He's calling it for both sides. It's not like he's picking on one side. He's demanding the same standards for both sides. And here we go with the breakaway and the easy put down for the Hounds. Number 22, Will Johnson of the University of Chicago. Great play for the Hounds.
All it takes is determination and will, and you will get in to score. Will Johnson flying down the line. That sharp line that they ran, it seems like they know there's an overlap on that inside part of this, or the outside part of this scrum setup. And that crash line in easy hands, I'm not going to say anything negative about the defense of the Thunderbirds in that situation, but I will say we were left wanting. Wasn't too much sophistication in which they couldn't stand up against that and make it happen, but the experienced team, the team with a little bit more confidence, are just attacking wherever they can find the space, and now they extend their lead, which once was a close 12-point match with Thunderbirds having a real shot to get back in and making it one score, has exploded just a bit.
9 minutes.
And 19 points with 9 minutes left is almost as insurmountable as you can get with a team that doesn't have some secret plays in their back pocket or some kind of understanding that they should have. It could happen. Anything could happen. This is rugby, but man. It's going to be a tough order for them in this last 8. Yeah.
Yeah, anything could happen, as you say. Here we go with the kickoff, with the restart. Thunderbirds recover the ball with the restart. The ball took a fortuitous Thunderbirds bounce. Hounds, though, ready for that defensive play here. Ball cycled back. We got some crash ball going on.
Let it come now, let it come, let it come.
Too
slow, you put your hands on, you didn't try
like he has figured out where to pass the ball. Passes it to one of our big boys coming off of the bench. Cycling back once again. And ball is able to be recovered by Jared Kissinger as he's taken down by the Hounds. Hounds now pushing the Thunderbirds back into their side of the 50 meters. We almost had a beautiful break. Ball, though, goes to the Thunderbirds' hand.
Good work, first was good.
Now we see the number 5, DJ Martin, playing scrum half as he makes a run for it, gets taken down. Ball's being played, continuing for the Thunderbirds. We have a Thunderbird player down. That's not good. Ball is kicked to the hands of the Hounds. Hounds now have the ball.
Off his neck. Thank you.
As we see Hunter Maudlin, who has been playing almost this entire match now. 72 minutes on the pitch, and he is helping lead his team as we are cycling the ball to the edges. Good defense by the Thunderbirds. Hunter Maudlin once again cycling the ball back. Now we're going towards the right side. Big boy here, Michael Alamo from the Chicago Griffins, being taken down. Ball is placed into the hands and off the right boot of Sam Walsh. As you see again, that Chicago player, that Thunderbirds player, still down on the ground. As we see Caleb Rubenheimer. Oh, beautiful cheeky kick to himself. You love to see it. As the Thunderbirds are making their way in. I think that took everybody by surprise. Good cycle of the ball to the number 8. Scott Peterson goes for the dummy, but the Hounds are fooled. And unfortunately, though, the Hounds player that jackled it was off his feet for penalty against the Hounds. And a little extras after that.
Relax, relax, relax. Hey, hey, relax. Relax, boys, boys, on. Let it go, let it go. We're good. We're good. It's done. It's over. Walk back, please. Still walk back. Hey, time's up, boys. Time's up.
And we got a little bit of a time off. It looked like Jared Kissinger of the Thunderbirds not taking some exception to a little bit of pushing and shoving. I think that was Alex Null of the Hounds, number 7. I don't know who started it, but it looks like they did not like the little extras that each was doing to each other. But look at this beautiful chip kick to pass. Can't do it any better than that by Caleb Rubenheimer.
Yeah, the control, the composure. I mean, that's the confidence that we've seen from the other side in a lot of places. Looks like the Thunderbirds got a bit of it their own, able to go with the chip kick and regather. Amazing bit of skill.
And that big boy Wallace Canuck with the run. Oh, unfortunately, the ball is dropped off the pass. And though the Thunderbirds, again, it seems like in this game, Lance, it just seems like every time the Thunderbirds, as you said, make a positive play, 2 steps forward, they take 1 gigantic step backwards right on the next play.
And it's just the small mistakes. I mean, they find themselves on the front foot, getting penalties, getting great opportunities, but you got to do something with it. It's not just what happens, it's the and then that goes along with it. And they just been coming short with the and then. The next part of it, they haven't really been able to fully capitalize on. It takes a bit of skill and ability to get that first positive bit, but it takes a lot more to get the last bit and finish off with points.
Hounds with the ball off of the scrum.
That's good,
and again, you got to give credit to the Thunderbirds, though. Beautiful defense as they were able to steal the ball. And looks like Caleb Daniels with it, able to offload it. Thunderbirds still have the ball. Look at that beautiful run. I think that's number 18, Javaris Burris, that just knocked down that Hounds player. As we're getting close to the try-zone, this is the first opportunity the Thunderbirds had since the beginning of the second half. Big man Wallace Canuck trying to make his way forward. It takes 4 Hounds players to take that big boy down. Ball's passed again. Thunderbirds right there with the outstretched arm, and it's a try! Number 19, Corey Johnner from Lincoln Park Club with the try for the Thunderbirds.
And that was just a collective bit of great play. We saw chaotic runs. Starting from here, flat-footed, Caleb Daniels says, no, not anymore. Gets the offload away. That offload is gathered, and it is now a hunt season. That man ran into 4 different people. Burris the Bull will not be stopped or slowed down. You even had Big Wallace, big man Wallace, notorious B.I.G. Wallace getting into the action with a carry, bouncing off of guys.
Anti-ref fixture.
And when you bring that much force offensively, you're forcing the Hounds to account for you with multiple players. Even there's 3 players who had a shot, but not to be stopped, says Corey. Corey in the house, and Corey gets 5 for the Midwest Thunderbirds. And they're showing up. You gotta appreciate a side that no matter the time on the scoreboard or the score of the scoreboard, they're going to bring you the action to you. They're going to hit you. They're going to run at you. And the Thunderbirds is that. Great example and an epitome of what Midwestern rugby is.
All right, boys, 3 now. 3 minutes.
I mean, look at them grabbing and ripping guys off of rucks. I mean, physicality is there. That's one big step of it. Are you willing to step up to the confrontation and to the challenge, right? And they are.
Yes, exactly. As we have the restart here, Thunderbirds well into their territory with the ball, trying to find some way to escape from their tri-zone area. Hounds trying to put the pressure as we're entering into the last 3 minutes of the game. Conversion was no good, so the score is 31 Hounds, Thunderbirds 17.
No,
Thunderbirds trying to figure a way to maybe put 1 more try on the scoreboard to make it a little bit more respectable. And it looks like we have a knock-on by the Hounds.
Counter was good.
So Thunderbirds with the ability to put in for the scrub.
First one, missed it. Try it again.
as we're approaching these last 3 minutes of the, or 2.5 minutes now of this matchup. You see a lot of tired bodies on the pitch, but I feel, Lance, there's still quite a bit of enthusiasm for the Thunderbirds. You know, hate to say it, but it looks like the score has gotten away from them. But the energy and the spirit is not dying on this Thunderbird side.
And a bit of it has to do with who you're playing. I mean, if you're playing any Chicago Hound outfit, MLR connected outfit, there's a little bit more incentive to show like, hey, I can be with you guys. You know, I might just work a 9 to 5 or got better things to do. I might have a family. I can't dedicate the time, but I can play with you and stand up against you. And that's a big part of the rugby community too, just playing people all different levels, at backgrounds, age groups, circumstances. What makes these games beautiful, because now, win, lose, or draw, the Midwest Thunderbirds show they can stand up to, you know, the best that the Hounds Academy can offer.
And as you just mentioned, Lance, we saw some really hard runs by Nathan Blocka, Jared Kissinger. They're just running, and now we have a breakaway right here. Don't know if that pass was necessary, but fortunately Thunderbirds able to recover. As we see number 21, Ahmed Al-Asori, who's had some issues earlier in the first half, able to get the ball into the territory of the Hounds. Thunderbirds knocking on the door. Like I said, maybe they could get one more try in to make it respectable. Is he able to? He does! He puts it down! I believe he does!
Appreciate it. Thank you for being there.
By the Thunderbirds!
I mean, this is what we're talking about, right? You make it random, you take it out of form, and right on the spot, number 22 of the Thunderbirds getting the ball down, Alex Verdon from the Chicago Lions, who's also the Chicago Lions, we must add, is a team that now holds the D1 Midwest Championship.
Hey, unlucky. Last play, boys. This will be the last play.
Oh, no. It looks like, I believe that was Caleb Rubenheimer, might have pulled something on that kick.
Yeah.
Last play, boys. Last play.
And they needed that kick in order to tie the game if they wanted a chance.
Time is off. We got a 10 down.
Oh, so unfortunate. Oh, wow.
Yeah, no, I've stopped the clock. Time is off, boys. Player down.
Okay.
This will be the last play.
Time is off according to the match official, but wow, that's
can't be caught.
And they
so unfortunate.
2 score games.
They need Caleb.
Okay.
He's been leading the charge so well.
We'll start this
that
out.
kick
Once it comes
earlier
on.
and just how the team has really just found this way.
off,
You know,
okay?
it's through his direction. He has been orchestrating the
wait on the
play.
player.
Man.
Has somebody come on?
Honestly, Lance, I really do feel like this game was just a lot of bad luck for the Thunderbirds. I mean, as we mentioned, a lot of incohesion with the team, as we mentioned, not able to really practice together as an all-star team. So that unity is not really there, but there's been a lot of bad luck for the Thunderbirds in this game.
I mean, rugby is the bounce of the ball. Here we go again. Bad luck persists.
Yes. As the ball pops right out of the hands of the Thunderbirds and literally 2 meters away from the try zone. The Hounds are right there. All they got to do is put it down. And you hear all the Hounds players screaming at the try, but the only announcement that's official is from the match official, and that is the hands were held up. So no try by the Hounds.
And that's the game.
Goal line.
No?
Goal line. 5.
Again, the time on our clock is not necessarily official, so it looks like maybe there might be a little bit more time left. Remember, we did take some time off because of Rubenheimer pulling something when he kicked. So maybe there's a couple of seconds left, but it does mean that there's a goal line dropout by the Thunderbirds. Now, will the Hounds just kick the ball out, or nope, they're going to play. They're going to try to
Off your feet, off your feet, off your feet. Let it come. Let it come. Penalty advantage.
Again, Thunderbirds still playing like it's the first minute of the game. They are wanted that counter ruck. But a lot of tired bodies opening up holes. Hounds are driving through some of those openings. Maudlin has been tremendous on this game for the Hounds, cycling the ball still yet again. Sam Walsh passing it to any of the open Hounds players. Now we're going to the left. Number 22, Will Johnson, who scored a try earlier in the game. Passing the ball to number 1, Patrick Beatty, trying to make his way. We're just a couple meters short. Here we go, Hounds. Will they break through? And they do. Try for the Hounds.
And with no time on the clock, the Hounds
That's
show
fine.
that they're going to play to the final minute. And if you notice, they held up try by the Thunderbirds. They celebrated. They wanted to make sure there was no additional points on the board. And I think the Hounds recognized that and stood up to make the call themselves. And just diving in when the space is available. No need to stress. No need to worry. They just formulated their team. Everybody was structurally sound, attacking with speed and width. And it was just too much going
That's
on
it.
for the
Oh, you bet
Thunderbirds to
30.
stop. Great showing by the Thunderbirds,
25 now.
but the Hounds showcasing again that they were 14
pressure.
plus points better, right? But, you know, they had to earn it all the way through to the very end, which says a lot as well.
Sam Walsh with the last play of the match. Conversion kick here. Sam Walsh has been amazing off of the tee.
Unlucky.
Unlucky, as the match official says, a little bit wide,
play,
maybe a
Sam.
little bit of a commentator's curse, but that
Come on, Sam,
is
nice play.
the
Come on.
match. Final score, Hounds 36, Thunderbirds
You think?
22. A
No
very
worries.
exciting matchup here for the Thunderbirds Cup. Once again, Lance, final thoughts of this matchup.
Final thoughts is the Midwest Players Union have a lot to be proud of to put the team together to compete against sides that have a little bit more organization and a little bit more structure, guys with maybe even deeper rugby backgrounds. The Thunderbirds showed up. It took a full 80-minute fight for the Hounds to take control fully of this matchup. And the Hounds has shown a lot of positivity too. A lot of those guys we might be seeing on some of these Saturday and Sundays in the MLR very soon. But good showing by the Thunderbirds, better showing by the Hounds. I'm impressed by both. What a weekend of Midwest Championship rugby. All the teams who won the championship, and this is a great way to cap it off.
Yes, and once again, congratulations to all the teams that won championships here in the Midwest Rugby Union. On behalf of the Midwest Rugby Union, Next Level Rugby, he is Lance Cavanaugh. My name is Joshua Shibata. Thank you very much for joining us here for this exciting matchup. We will see you next time on the pitch.